Good evening, beautiful soul brothers and sisters, and welcome to another Intergalactic Council of Three transmission. And I thought we would start welcoming Laurie and Bree and myself with a nice little clearing ka-ting. Here we go. Marvelous. So tonight, I think this is our 16th transmission, and we are celebrating the new moon, supermoon, which is happening tonight, 3:00 p.m. our time. A cloudy night tonight. It was absolutely stunningly clear last night, and I managed to get a real good look at the moon, fractionally incomplete, obviously, but I'm just sensing the full moon tonight because we can't actually see it. But yeah, so just being,
I'm sure you'll be feeling it.
Oh, well, I could do with sleeping because I haven't slept for 3 nights, and I shouldn't think there'll be much going on tonight either. So yeah, new full moons, big moons, and conclusions and endings, if I understand it correctly. So things coming to conclusions, ready to be birthing the new when we start again after this.
And whatever doesn't resonate is falling off too. So
that's it.
And Chiron's changing signs. So Chiron's going into Aries. So it's a lot of, so it's a lot of our wounds are going to change into another deeper level.
That's been a long cycle. It was in I can't remember what it was in. It's been a while though, hasn't it?
Wasn't the last time we had this sort of astrological setup was in 1968, I think, which was massive time of social unrest, upheaval, fighting for justice and fairness, which of course we're seeing throughout the world ongoing, are we not? That's that sense.
Isn't it ironic how it's just it's similar but different,
Yes. And I think that's Uranus, isn't it, which is the great awakener and the disruptor, Aries the disruptor, and Chiron, not just the wounded healer, but a whole lot more as well in terms of bringing about change and fairness and justice for all. So interesting times we live in.
Right, and you can see all those glass castles just crumbling. It's like whatever does not hold together, their structures are just falling apart.
Yeah, and it's quite dramatic as well. It's not a soft touchy feely. It's just whoom bam and everything's gone. So
when I think of that, like Claire, when you pulled the tarot card, when you were talking about the tarot, and just structurally and how things are all starting to really, it's like that. It's like everything's just jumping ship.
I was saying last night that it really seems like the spectrum, like both sides of the spectrum are getting so intense and severe. It almost seems like some of these things are appearing as like parodies of themselves because it's so extreme. It's like pure black and pure white, or pure good or pure evil, and that's all perception, of course, individual perspective, but it's everything's getting really extreme, I feel like, and it's helping us to see what we prefer. And if we don't prefer something, it's becoming blatantly obvious to us, where in the past it might have been like, well, I don't know, this and that, and now like our body is physically being like, no,
exactly.
Can't do it.
Or if it's the right thing, it's like so in your face, and it's like what like you do, just like it's shocking because it's so surreal that you're like, that just really happened. That's so awesome, So, yes, it can go either way.
I'm finding myself really having very strong emotional reactions to the way that my heart is guiding me in, now that I'm actually starting to really tune into myself and really pay attention to my feelings and all of these things that I thought that I was doing, and have realized that I really was not. So tuning in, and like, for instance, I'm going in the path of teaching now, and being like teaching children, and I turned down a job that I really did not resonate with, that was actually like really bad for the planet and for people's health. But it was lots of money, you know, and I was like, I cannot ethically, I am so far out of alignment with that. I can't even imagine myself doing that. And then as soon as I turned that down, the best possible teaching opportunity landed in my lap, and as soon as I saw it, I started to cry, and I knew.
I love it.
I knew.
That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool how we can actually let our body and our heart and our feelings actually guide us now, and we don't have to worry, because the mind is always going to be spinning, but we're learning that we can direct it in which way we want it to spin, instead of it just running around rampantly and, you know, not having any direction, and usually getting us in, you know, unpleasant situations. So.
Right. Or another learning lesson. You're like another layer of learning. Yeah. Oh, yay.
And that thing, that's lovely news, Bree. And I'm the same as you. I'm feeling less and less fear about standing in my truth, speaking my truth. You know, before it was almost unthinkable, couldn't bear to sort of, you know, remove the mask and just be vulnerable, you know, putting myself in a position where you couldn't hide from it. And now I just see there's no need even to be nervous about it. You know, I just say, this is who I am. I don't even have to say, take it or leave it, you know, in some aggressive fashion or defensive, aggressive fashion. I just say, this is who I am. That's how it is. And there's no risk. I really believe with all my heart, there is no risk to us being truthful and honest and standing in that place of alignment and authenticity. I know the old 3D ego self says, oh, yes, there is, because people will either reject you or you know, pillory you or something, but actually it doesn't matter. They weren't your
No, and it doesn't. And sometimes you can meet the most amazing people that would have never opened up until you did.
Yes.
Like that happened over dinner this weekend, and I just started talking about some stuff, and I was like, well, I'll just tell you. They were asking about certain things, like with the quantum healing and the hypnosis that I do. And so I started going off on it and how I got on that track. And, you know, so, and then they opened up, and I was just like, well, I never knew that about you. I never knew that about you. So it's really cool how that can be too. So you need friends.
Yeah, by us shining who we really are, instead of staying small and stuck and, you know, limited and like, okay, I have to fit in this box because I feel like I'm supposed to. They're telling me I should. They're telling me I should. This media corporation, this company, this
and then you're like, but I don't feel so good.
And then you suffocate yourself. And this is the time to just like learn who you really are. I realized recently that I have spent most of my life avoiding learning about who I really was. And that's been a really surprising revelation for me, because it touched every single area of my life. Like I was seeing things that other people did that were close to me in my life and saying, oh, well, they're really happy doing this. Well, that seems really cool. Maybe I should do that too. But it didn't sit right with me. And now I'm like, okay, I obviously have been pulled in this other direction my entire life. Like, I'm just going to go for it now, because I can feel that chord, the ding, you know, it's like the resonation you feel physically, you can feel in your body. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting times for us to be consciously consciously even asking questions or learning about ourselves and other people and opening up.
Yeah. Really cool. Yeah. And while you were talking, I was shuffling, Bree. So hang on. For those of the faint-hearted, look away, because my eyes are not great. That's lack of sleep for you for days, months, years on end. Oh, better. So while you were talking, Bree, I picked up my new deck, which is called Divination of the Ancients.
Ooh.
Oracle, a guidebook by Barbara Michael John Free and Flavia Kate Peters. We honor you, ladies. So let's just see. Oh, Bree, because I was thinking of you and your journeying. Pendulum. decision.
Oh, yeah.
Now, and we talked about your pendulum, didn't we, the other week?
Yes, we did.
So that's a little bit of, there we are. That's a little bit better. So let us just see what pendulum has to offer. Pendulum. There are many, so this is for all of us, and I was particularly thinking of our Bree while I was shuffling. There are many paths before you, some that promise to fulfill your desires, and some that others in your life would bid you take to fulfill theirs. You just said that.
Right.
It's important for you to decide exactly where you want to go and whom you want to be in this lifetime. You couldn't make it up, could you? For you and not for anybody else. The universe is giving you the choice. Ask yourself, which path will lead to wholeness? Which path deceives? Choose carefully, for the answers are not being presented clearly to you at this time. You would be wise to call upon the pendulum to assist you with your decision, for it will surely show you the truthful way. Do not take this lightly, as the wrong path could detour you from your destiny. And the incantation is, to the question asked, what answer will show? Circle or swing, I do not know, but answer true it will foretell, and that way I too shall swing as well. And then it has other divinatory meanings. Seek your answers from within rather than from another. Trust your own wise counsel. Be more discerning. Don't take others' advice at face value. Release guilt and focus on what's best for you. A major decision will soon need to be made. So,
If that's not like on point, that was like
Wow.
I mean, that's wow, right?
That is so cool. That is so cool. And it's really interesting too, because it's like the answers are within us. And even when we go outwardly and we ask people, I was just talking about this last night on my friend Wendy has a YouTube channel called Languages of Lights, and it's incredible. And I just finished her website for her at the beginning of the year. Actually, I was talking to you two ladies about it at the dinner table when we were in Phoenix. Anyway, so finished her website and everything. We did a webinar last night with Light Languages, and Alicia was there, and we were just talking about like the external reality. It's like sometimes you consult people and you're like asking for their advice, and sometimes their advice is specifically going to be against what you believe to help you understand what you really, the path that you really want to go on. I mean, yes, sometimes there's great advice, but sometimes there's advice that just is not for you, but it's given to you to help show you, definitely can't go that direction. As much as I appreciate hearing about a different way, and it could work for somebody else, but it's just really cool. Yeah. It's really cool. And I have my pendulum sitting in I don't think I showed you guys this. I made this in high school. Wow. Now looking back, it's like, oh, I was channeling like all of this.
Definitely. Look at that.
Triangles on it. There's triangles on it. So this is where I keep my little pendulum now.
Wow.
So I have to bring it out because that card came out. So I guess it wants.
Well, didn't that card have the same shape on it? Wasn't it in the hand? Wasn't it the same shape that her?
It's actually a crystal heart that she's holding in the palm of her hand.
Oh, okay. Really for a second there, I thought it was the same.
Yeah. The sort of I've gotten the sacred geometry shape, but that's but hey, it's all the same, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Crystal heart. But hey, higher heart. You're talking to your higher self, your higher aspect.
Yeah. So that's brilliant. Oh, that's cool. Good. So, Laurie, do you want to delve into the oracle and see what
do you want to do? Since we did that, we'll do the sacred geometry, since I've already kind of, I spied that one.
Yeah.
So this is the activations, the sacred geometries.
Brilliant.
All right. Let me shuffle these. I think Lonnie had these.
I think I've got some sacred geometry cards, but they're not those. And I can't remember where I put them now.
These ones are the oracles. Who did they even buy? Just says Lon. Lon.
Uh-huh. All praise to you, Lon.
Oh, please do, Lon, right? Tell me when, Claire.
Okay. Now.
What do you get? Soul time.
Hey.
The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of new reality to emerge. One that embraces the concept that while the body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. That's what that looks like.
Beautiful.
Look how cool that is.
Whoa, liking that. Those colors.
I know.
Yeah.
There really is some activation going on there.
I think so.
See,
I think
let's do the long reading on it.
Yeah.
All right, so it's number 40. So soul time. As part of duality-based world, the concept of time has been defined throughout human history in linear with past, present, and future. We look back at where we came from, apply lessons learned to our present, and move forward with expectations that are derived from our past. Linear time has been cooperative and has been our future somewhat predictable. The story of the human history is told from the viewpoint that we were born into a world once and leave when we physically die, a straightforward story. Now that we are awakening into the consciousness of a much larger story than the singular lifetime on Earth, and to define a three-dimensional reality, we slowly start to realize that time as we know it no longer applies. Besides going back into the past and going forward into the future, we find spaces that are far and in between, spaces that are infinite and nonlinear. We have arrived in soul time. Soul time means having access to all the experiences that the soul has been through, is going through, and will go through, all in any given moment that we choose. To demonstrate this evolution of linear time, the soul time activation has been created from the reception of the infinity sign. The purple refers to our connection to the higher realms and source, a connection that needs to be securely established in order for us to experience time outside the reality of three-dimensionality. The yellow is our inner power and the way we manifest ourselves on Earth. The hexagons in the image refer to a form-based world, which is linear and three-dimensional, yet an equal component to our experience of reality and time. And I'll hold that up again because it just talked about the colors and the...
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful.
So, isn't that fun? So it says, try this. Close your eyes and contemplate for a moment your infinite of the soul. What is your soul's curriculum? What circumstances and experiences have you created for yourself so you can evolve towards your highest expression? Are you including the messages that come to you through your dreams and your intuition? Keep a dream journal so you don't miss a thing.
Wow. That it's like what you do, Lori. That's
I know, right?
You're a QHHT practitioner.
It really is the soul time for sure.
Yeah, speaking of soul time.
I have novels of dream journals. Novels.
Yeah, I bet.
And I'm sure both you girls do. I mean, I love listening to Claire talk about her dreams too. It's fascinating.
Wow.
They've been well wacky. They've been well wacky.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of truth to them. I mean, if you really break them down into even imagery on what it means to you and pictures and a lot, some of it's like processing, some of it's, some of it's worldly, the travel. There's a lot of answers in your dreams. I love it.
I had a fabulous opportunity in a dream. Well, I was so pleased when I woke up. The dream, in essence, was I had an opportunity to be unfaithful to my beloved Alex, my twin flame. And I rarely dream of him as him. You know, I'm normally dreaming of past boyfriends or my ex-husband and stuff. So it's always a bit of a, oh, crikey, I'm actually dreaming of Alex, you know, and he looks like him. So there I was, and I think I had the chance to go with this, just probably somebody like Daniel Craig, you know, oh my God, I'll sell my soul in soul time for Daniel Craig. So I had this real temptation and lure to be unfaithful. And the old Claire of the past would have dropped everything. I won't be too graphic, but I would have been off like a bloody rocket, you know, waving goodbye to twin flames, true romance, and loyalty.
On to the next.
Don't look back. Don't look back. And in the dream, I looked at this gorgeous hunk and then said, no, I'm going to stay devoted and loyal to my beloved twin flame.
Mm-hmm.
And that to come through dream state, you know, it wasn't a lucid dream. It was absolutely my heart, soul talking and declaring that to the universe. Yep. This is the person I've become, and I can have absolute faith and trust in that woman, yep. to be loyal and to have integrity. And it was, I just woke up
and confirmation that it's like you're really in your heart, you know. That's beautiful.
It's not a mind thing. It's not me having to overcome some, you know, sort of mental torture. It's just actually my heart's desire is to be this, you know, to be an honorable woman honoring the sacred union with the twin flame. So
it's showing you your evolution, and I've been having dreams of that as well, where I mean, sometimes we do have dreams to show us who we're becoming because of the choices that we make here in this reality. Then our dreams will continue to evolve and kind of show us like, okay, well, you're going down this path, and now there's all these new opportunities that are opening up for you. And it's so cool. Was that just last night, Claire?
No, it was certainly within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It was recent, because just last night I had a dream of a similar like confirmation for me of like my evolution, and it's about being who I really am instead of, you know, staying small and timid and shy and I don't know if I should, and I don't want them to think I'm weird, and you know, and then in the dream I was in like this classroom, and I've been watching this show on Amazon Prime that is about time travel therapy, and there's like this therapist who puts people back into previous memories that they have that they regret or whatever, and then they can make a new decision and see what happens. And of course there's all these other factors at play, and other people, it's like you don't have control over other people's path, you know, only yours. So anyway, the doctor of that show, who is this time travel therapist guy, was in my dream. I was in like this lecture hall, and he points at me, and it was an opportunity to like, I guess, sing in front of the class or do something with your voice. And I was like, right away, whereas in the past I would have been like, well, I don't know.
That's so neat. Yep.
It was really cool.
Stepping into your power, girl.
Yeah, and for him to show up, I was like, well, this is even more cool, because I've really been enjoying that show, and there's some components of the show that with time travel and quantum physics don't make a whole lot of sense to me, but it's okay. I'll let it slide, because I get the point of the show is to really show people that it's about a perception. It's always about a perception.
And that's hypnosis. I mean, that's literally what you're doing with that. You're going back to like whatever you're dealing with. You're going back to a memory to where you can see if you can dissolve the emotion that's attached to it.
Yeah.
But you still always have the memory. It's the same thing. You know, so it's time travel. I like that. Time travel therapy. That's what I'm going to call myself.
Well, yes, there you go. It's amazing, because if you have a new perspective, which you have in every single moment, then you are influencing the past with how I was just watching this guy on YouTube. Gosh, I wish I could remember his name. He's this incredible like neuroscientist guy, and he was talking about how memories, when an event happens,
Lipton? Isn't it
Bruce Lipton?
Bruce Lipton? Is that who you're talking about?
So. I don't think so. This guy has an accent. I can't remember exactly what his name was. I could probably find it. But he was talking about how when an event happens, and then like, let's say a second later or a day later or a month later, you have a memory of that event. When you think back to that event, you're thinking of that event from a new perspective, and so you're actually, that new perspective is influencing when you thought about that event, that memory. So it's actually changing the memory, and then you think about it the next day, and then that changes the changing of the memory. So it's like everything's constantly shifting and changing in every moment, including our memories and including our memories of memories.
Right?
Yeah, that's it.
It is true. And that's why a lot of times when people get talking that like the PTSD is because they keep going back to that same memory and adding more trauma to it. So it can go both ways. It can be positive or negative. But if you're throwing more energy into it, it just makes it stronger and stronger. When really, when you go and look at it, you know, with hypnosis, you pinpoint that one little incident and you're like, oh, that's all it was. But because you had all these other stuff on top of it, but then it changes the whole timeline.
Yeah,
because you're unattached.
Right.
When you're coming at it from that, in the hypnosis state, it's pure love, and like it's just the pureness of you that's visiting that. It's not the ego mind. And
it's
all
all awareness. It's pure awareness. You're like there. And that's what I love about it too, is you get more of a conscious, subconscious kind of relationship rather than just having your full consciousness, like 3D consciousness be in, and it's like, you know, full array to where you can look at it through different eyes, quote unquote, you know,
it's amazing. I've enjoyed both of I've had 2 QHHT sessions. Do you do those online, Lori? Are you able to do those online?
Yeah,
now that's cool, because I think that there are some practitioners that maybe just don't really prefer that, so they don't do it online. But that's really
There's no reason. I mean, you don't have to be physical. It's not like, you know, it's like with any kind of work, as long as you can hear my voice and I can hear your voice, you can record it. You can, you don't have to record it. You know?
The higher self, I learned from my friend who learned QHHT, the higher self really assists a lot with the session. Even if somebody has to come out of it, the higher self would be like, okay,
I've done sessions before where, because, you know, if you don't know what QHHT, a lot of times your first step, you go into a past life. So you kind of go in, you have something you're working on. And let's say, I'm going to use an example of myself. Me and my father would always be at war. My mom would always be like, you guys are always at war. You're always fighting, blah, blah, blah. So I went into this past life. And at the time, me and my dad were estranged. We didn't talk. And in that life, I was a young male. And I was going to war with my brother. And my brother in that life is my uncle in this life. So here we are. I'm really proud to go to war because we're defending our land. And over the mountain, over the hill, here comes the other army we're fighting. And it's my dad holding he was the guy, the whole head of the army. He's holding the flag of that army. He kills me and my brother, which is his uncle in this life. So here we are back in this life. Yeah. So, you know, but at the same time, you get little remnants of past lives. But as I was going through with my higher self came in that session, and it said to me, you know, because you ask, why did you have that life? Why did you show that life? And it was to resolve a lot of karma. And I didn't quite get it at the time. I mean, I did, but I didn't. And, you know, years had passed. I'd done a lot of healing, and my dad's done a lot of healing. We started talking, and I told him about that story, about that life that we had. And he was like, I wonder if that's why I never got along with my brother. And I was like, I wonder that's why we never got along. And I could feel, it's like this whole, like the karma just disappeared. It was like our relationship's never been the same. It's like we've been tight ever since then.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's just really interesting how we come back.
Yeah.
And even a past life can change your karmic connections.
Yeah.
Let alone going into and getting insights on your higher self. And that's even more answers. So it's so profound. I've had so many sessions. I've done so many sessions, but I always tell that one, because even a tiniest little past life, you think it's like nothing. Yeah. You're like, how profound it can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Laurie, say stop when you're ready.
Okay. Okay, stop.
Boundaries. So this is from
Boundaries.
Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light.
Okay, cool.
This is boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So there's that lovely central figure and all the arms coming to grab your energy or so. So let's just have a look at that. Of course, that could be any. Do you remember where Lani was doing this on the first go? And
right, trying to find
it doesn't have a bloody index. So we're going, oh my God, where is it? Performance, anxiety, boundaries, 44. My mate's.
Oh, we're in the 40s. What's it? Yeah. What's 444?
Okay.
I see that number all the time. 444.
Do you? Ah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This is all of us. This could be with friends, family, or work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first, it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal, but before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you are being left feeling depleted, resentful, or taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they are able to give unconditionally. When your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand, and you are able to give freely. If you are not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion, resentment, and energetic cords to be planted. If you are saying yes when you really mean no, you are likely needing something yourself. Ask yourself what part of me needs something from them. It could be a need for approval, a fear of being seen a certain way, or a fear of loss. The best way to gauge your boundaries is to check in with your belly. Your belly is the second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. Tune into this space when deciding what is okay for you. How does it feel? What is it trying to communicate with you? So does that resonate at all?
Yes.
With boundaries? Right. Oh, yes, definitely.
Yes.
It is for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've been learning that the hard way over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Will I get the lesson? Will I?
Yes, you got the lesson, girl. You're moving on from that.
I think
it's always an evolution.
It's a really hard one, and I think looking at Laurie's share there in terms of the clearing the karmic line, there's an awful lot of unease, about a lack of ease about setting a boundary. It feels like a rejection, a denial, and I think a lot of the difficulty I've had with boundary setting has been about a fear of being rejected and abandoned. You know, if I put anything in the way of receiving love, I am likely to then have that love withheld. So if you leave everything wide open, in the hope is that love will just come in. If you put a boundary up, what if that person decides to withhold their love if they don't like your boundary? And I think I've spent a lot of my lifetime having not a clue about boundary setting at all. But I'm learning it now, and not totally easy, not totally nailed, but getting better.
Well, and I think every day is another day with boundaries, because there are some days where you put them up and then the next day that same situation come up, but then it's like the boundary it doesn't work that day. So it is about the whole love thing. But if you don't put it up, you do become, and it's like that, the energy, just people can suck the energy right out of you if you say yes to something you don't want to.
Yeah. And that's about self-love. That's about getting back to knowing yourself, knowing what's good for you, knowing what works for you, knowing what you can do, knowing what's healthy for you. And if it's not healthy for you, if you're having a terrible day and then somebody comes to you to vent, it's like you have to acknowledge and be like, okay, hold on. Maybe we should do this a different time, because I don't have I'm not in the space to be able to provide much for you right now. You know, I can't let you drink from an empty cup, right?
That's
So
Yeah.
we have to take care of ourselves first. We really do.
We do.
And
That
it's
is so
not
true.
easy, especially for empaths and for people who, you know, are people pleasers and who have been chronic people pleasers.
Yeah.
So what I think I would like to provide a short light language blessing on that.
Yes, that would be beautiful.
That would be lovely. And shall we, because we've got 2 minutes 30 left, shall we use this as our as a beautiful ritual closing ceremony so that we can sign off in good order rather than being cut off? So I'm going to say thank you to everybody watching and sharing with us, with our creating this beautiful light wave. Blessed be and beyond to all. Thank you to Laurie, to Bree, to Alicia. We hope to see you soon. To Jan, to Lani, and all our all our beautiful soul sisters and soul brothers. And may the force be with you. We'll see you again next time. And thank you very much, Bree.
Thank you. Hiaha naha ho hoe raha. Ya saur ono to so ho hoe hiaha naha. Ia so ho ho hoe naha naha. Isi hi hio ho 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 naha naha. Ia hara hatao so ho ho naha naha. Ia sere te sion hoto ko so ho naha naha. Ar ataos ono to to se ni te is isio ho shi ki ai ya au. Ara na 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 o si na 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 ni si yo to to toro to en ar asio a in au it asio otor oto e shiar aisiana au ue au uar aisen ya au hu hantia Juan hanti siush ar aiki inia hau ya yo hai shanai so haranatao anatao iki hiyaso. Thank you.
Thank you, my lovely. Thank you so much. We honor you and all our light workers and light bearers and light bringers. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. God bless to everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful week full of light and joy. God bless.